Hey everybody, Sean here from Somm Wine Club, and I have got some wine for you. This is the 2020 Chateau Musar Jeune Rosé from the Bekaa Valley in Lebanon. This is part of the July 2022 Somm Wine Club box. Chateau Musar is one of the most fascinating wine stories ever. The winery was started in 1930 by Gaston Hochar, taken over by his son Serge in 1959 while he was attending enology school at the University of Bordeaux. Mentored by some great enologists from Bordeaux, including Émile Peynaud, he took that information that he learned in Bordeaux back to Lebanon with him to continue making wine at his family's estate. Now, from 1975 to 1990, there was a civil war going on in Lebanon, and many wineries would just give up and decide not to make wine during the war. But they didn't do that at Chateau Musar. Serge continued making wine throughout the course of the entire Lebanese Civil War. They made wine in every vintage except for 1976, when the fighting was so intense they actually couldn't get to the grapes. They grow their fruit in the Bekaa Valley, which is about 40 kilometers east of Beirut, in a fertile, sunny valley about 1,000 meters above sea level. And Chateau Musar is kind of like the flagship winery of Lebanon. They produce a number of different ranges. Their Chateau Musar Red and White are incredibly age-worthy wines. Sometimes the whites are not even drinkable or released for 10 or 15 years until after production. They started producing the Musar Jeune line in 2007 as a way to use some of their younger fruit and to produce a style of wine that was a little bit more approachable when it's young and ready to drink when produced. So we have a white, a rosé, and a red in the Musar Jeune line. This is the current vintage of the Musar Jeune Rosé, made from 85% Cinsault and 15% Mourvèdre, and done in a saignée style, which means to bleed. It's when they take a tank of fermenting red wine and they'll open the tap at the bottom of the tank and let out a little bit of liquid to kind of concentrate the red that's in the tank and also make a rosé from those grapes. So they do that with the Cinsault, they do that with the Mourvèdre, and then they blend them together. And then these wines are done in cement-lined tanks, so no oak here. This is all about freshness and bright, clean flavors. I love the color of this wine. It's like this kind of vibrant copper. Like it's really not pink. It's almost more orange than it is pink for sure. And it smells like red apple skin, red plum. There's this like lifted kind of like red floral note to it as well. Huckleberry, cranberry, these like very tangy, very zesty kind of red berry fruits and red fleshed kind of apple and pear, or apple and plum rather. That is delicious. This is not your Provençal, kind of very subtle, very light rosé. This is saignée, which creates more texture. You get a little bit more tannin, a little bit more grip. But it's a very light soak on the skins. They're pulling it off after 12 or so hours. So you're not getting a ton of the tannin compounds from the skins in the grapes. You're just getting that really, really bright fruit flavor, which is fantastic here. Yeah, this is a textural, full-flavored rosé with a lot going on in the mouth. The kind of acids are refreshing, but not overwhelming. They're just kind of like gently kind of refreshing your palate and keeping the wine moving forward. This is definitely a food rosé. Even though the Musar Jeune line is their approachable, earlier, easier drinking, made from younger vines, the Cinsault vines are still 30 years old that they're using. The Mourvèdre vines are 10 probably at this point. This is not a rosé just to kind of crack open and sip. This is definitely a rosé that has food in mind, and really actually will benefit from having something on the table. So even if it's something as simple as like go regional and do like a meze platter, or charcuterie and cheese, if you want to just do something very easy and just to sip on this while you're having some snacks. But you can take this to dinner, take this to a meal, take this to somewhere you've got like char grilled vegetables, you've got like pork. You could do kebabs with this, like lamb or pork kebabs. This has enough flavor to stand up to meat dishes. Shellfish, seafood, vegetarian, like with eggplant and tomatoes and peppers, and kind of play off of that umami rounder texture to this rosé. Uh, I'm glad I have a few extra bottles of that. That's delicious. Yeah, and the finish is so textural and interesting and lengthy. I'm super excited to share this with everybody. I hope that you enjoy. I hope that you learn something, and I hope that you now have a greater understanding of the world of wine and all of the amazing stories that are contained within it. So thanks very much. We'll see you guys next time.